City of Sanford City Commission Work Session, Monday, August 10th, 2015, 4 p.m.
The next item, Mr. Mayor, members of the Commission, is the fact that the mayor received letters, as you can see, from the Central Florida Freethought community regarding providing invocation at our meetings, and thought it should be a commission review discussion.
Yeah, this is, I believe, the second time I've received this letter, and the Freethought community have been in the news about this as their right. And as you can see, what we moved to legislative prayer. We talked to the chief about only having his clergymen, which is a diverse group, they have to go through his training. We haven't gotten that up and running yet, but I wanted to bring this to the commission and to the attorney as we discussed, and obviously Mr. Bonaparte, as to how we want to handle this and what we want to do going forward. So it's going to be legal, or we can open it up to having a moment of silence. A lot of commissions are going to that. A lot of board meetings I'm sitting in now are going to a pure moment of silence for your own beliefs.
A lot of those we're having too.
But I need to respond as to
Right.
what we're going to do.
And both of your letters are in the packet. I read both of them for Mayor.
Yes, summertime must be his letter writing time.
Well, I'm confused that how the Freedom from Religion Foundation can consider themselves a religion.
Yeah, I saw that.
If they have some positive message they would like to come bring at the beginning of the commission meeting, have it. The only issue, and you just brought this up, is then who else gets to come?
Well, it's an invocation, it's not a lecture. It's not a
It's
here's
true.
information about us and what we do. And
Now, from my understanding of it, it is, and I've pulled up some of his thought, and it is, here's how we, our religion, so to speak, and good tidings to you and to yours, and
To all of your friends.
if you want to come and that's the thing, if you want to come and again, whatever your faith belief is or is not, whether you agree or don't agree with who or what comes down there now. I mean, if you want to come in and offer a invocation, like you said, good tidings to you, and whatever the case is, great. What I don't want is a lecture.
well, I understand that, Commissioner Jones. I mean, unfortunately, I can't speak to them in advance saying, here's your parameters of show me what you're going to say.
Well, no, but that's what it's always been designed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, historically,
It's
100 years.
good wishes to the commission to make good choices, and
That's yes,
Yeah.
not
So-
a lecture of current events or.
Oh. Can we not?
I don't know how you draw that up.
Can we not come up with can we not as a commission say, we want to maintain the invocation, we want to welcome everyone, and we want these invocations to be no longer than 5 minutes.
No, no.
5 minutes.
No, or 3 minutes, whatever. No, let's not worry about the time. What I'm trying to say is, can we set some, okay, everybody, can we set some parameters on our invocations, and then maybe print this up, and, we welcome you, you'll be doing the invocation on May the 3rd, and here are, here are the guidelines or something like that, and we're not telling them what they can and can't say, but we're putting we're setting a policy, we're putting a time limit on it, etc. I mean, is there any control we can have from that?
Okay. If you're talking limits and controls, the answer is you probably cannot. I mean, we could get into a really deep discussion about this or not, depending on the commission's preference. The Supreme Court made a decision last summer. And I think I reported to you all briefly on it in a meeting, and I said there was good news and bad news. And the good news was that 5 justices of the Supreme Court said that there could be non-discriminatory religious introduction of a meeting. I said the bad news is that there are 4 sitting justices who are opposed to that, and it's a very divided court. Cities have responded to that in different ways. Shortly after that, we prepared a resolution, a draft resolution, which has been circulating with staff, that's about 7 or 8 pages long, with the idea of potentially the chaplaincy program of the police department facilitating that. That hasn't been adopted, and it doesn't have to be. It's a matter for the commission to determine whether you want to do it or not. A lot of people believe that they can come to a meeting and no matter who they are or what they want to do or what they want to say can be said in that several minutes, and the Supreme Court has not yet gone that far.
We have public comment.
That decision seems to say that it's a religious matter, and they have defined it somewhat. I'm not criticizing this group because I don't know really anything about them, but I thought it was interesting that they're don't seem to be religious but want to do something at the religious meeting. That I'm not trying to judge them, but it's an anomaly. I don't think the Supreme Court has gone that far. I wouldn't sit here and say y'all don't need to consider this. I think what the commission needs to do is decide if it wants to adopt a policy and what those parameters are. The mayor was talking about a moment of silence. Some of the cities are doing that. Some are adopting parameters along that resolution that we drafted that's strictly in draft form. There have been a few suits filed, and they'll probably go to the court sooner or later, and there'll be another decision that comes down. But that's probably several years away, Supreme Court-wise.
This is the same group, is it not, Mr. Bonaparte, that was sending letters to the police department, I think prior to Chief's department. I think there was a service or a ceremony, something that took place on the lanai, and there was a letter written. I think it was when Rick Myers was here. They had some correspondence with this group as well over prayer on the lanai at the police department. I remember that very clearly. And maybe it was even before you, maybe Tom remembers it. Anyway, I've got no problem with them doing an invocation at all. My question is though, then what next? What do we do when the Satanists want to come? And they will, because the Satanists have to put up their display in Tallahassee next to the Nativity. This is gonna snowball, from the humanist to the Satanist to goodness knows what. So I kind of think maybe we might even want to consider maybe, like you said, maybe a moment of silence is an excellent idea.
And I'll just ask, what do you anticipate them doing other than giving an invocation?
Well, that's the problem. I don't know who they are, and this just happens to be one that I've received twice in 2 years, saying, here's what you guys have, here's what your council has done, and we, you know, based upon Supreme Court decisions and court decisions, you know, we should have the right to come in and you know, I don't know if they, you know, I don't know what their leader is or what the Freethought community is, you know, may think that trees control them. You know, I don't know.
So
That's
you're
what they
saying
want
that
to put
they
blessings
asked
on.
to come and give an invitation, and we denied them? Is that what you're saying?
We didn't really deny him as much as didn't reach out and invite
Didn't
them.
respond. The
Right.
comment is that the mayor did not respond.
Well, that's the same thing when they look at it.
Sure.
That's what I was trying to find out. Because I was just thinking, what would they come and do other than give an invitation?
Well, I think you want to think that everyone has the best interest at heart, but you know, as Commissioner Mahaney said, and it's a thought and going around with school districts, with the Satanists and the cartoons and handing out of literature, and I mean, there's a, you know, is it point in time of in our society that you have a moment of silence to where you have your own beliefs bestowed upon yourself before the meeting, or do we open it up? I'm an equal opportunity giver. We've had rabbis, we've had Muslim clerics, we've had, you know, our Christian Baptist leaders, we've had, you know,
Catholics.
you name it, we've had them in here. But as long as it's peaceful and graceful and eloquent, and how do we tell them that if you want to come, the letter goes back to him, okay, here's our parameters, you know.
Yeah, but anything outside of that, you got public participation.
Yeah.
If you want to come down and give us 3 minutes of why you like trees,
Right.
great.
And I'm not saying the Freethought Society.
No.
likes trees. I don't know what they
Yeah,
like.
no.
It's like separation of church and state.
Yeah.
At least that's what they said.
Okay.
Then that's fine. But at the beginning of the meeting, we'll open the meeting with an invocation, whatever your invocation is. I mean, that's what that portion of the meeting is set for.
And so you want me to respond and say, here's the definition of an invocation?
Well, I mean, I was going through that, and, you know, but, a lot of it refers to, you know, appealing to help from higher power and different, anyways. But they even said in their thing that they recently filed a lawsuit against Brevard County for denying the opportunity to give an invocation,
As long as they define.
you know, open the meeting.
They asserted that the county's continual rejection of atheists, humanists, and other non-believers who wish to offer secular invocation violates the Constitution.
So I can go along with a secular, I want to carry this just a little further though. I can go along with a secular invocation, but when the Satanist organization contacts us, and it will happen, and they want to give an invocation and appeal to Satan as the higher power, I'm going to refuse to be in the room. You know, and that's going to happen. So my question is,
Show up to the meeting later.
huh?
Show up to the meeting later. It's no big deal.
I just, you know, is this going to snowball?
Well, I guess if it's the only way out, would be just a silent, moments of silence.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
and
different.
that's all, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, because then we're saying it's not worthwhile having an invocation.
But then we aren't gonna be able to discriminate against anybody.
Right.
No matter what it is, who they serve, whether they serve trees or water or whatever they serve, Almighty, whoever, you're not gonna be able to discriminate. You just have to take your chances and let them do the invocation 2 minutes.
Do we have any policy that whoever we invite has to have a congregation in Sanford? I say congregation because I'm not sure they have congregations.
Well, you showing up discriminating then. You're discriminating.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
We're discriminating, because you have a lot of pastors around here that don't have any churches, but they're out front. You know, and a lot of people don't even know they don't have churches.
Like Miss Mike, she doesn't have a church. She has a great following, you know, and,
But you have
but,
ministers here who
right,
are
like,
out front doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
They don't have one member, nor do they have a church. But I'm saying that,
Mix the groups up, explain it. This is just, we're opening your meeting. This isn't the time for lectures and
But if
information
they-
dissemination or whatever. And if it starts to snowball out of it, then we go from there.
Yeah.
It starts to snowball, we say.
I don't want to eliminate
Yeah.
I don't want to eliminate our pastors and everybody else who's been doing it for years and years and years. And that totally takes away from.
I think it's nice having the pastors come in.
I do too. Oh, I do too, believe me. I'm just acknowledging that, you know,
That's what combined to do a public comment.
I was gonna say, what if we didn't do an invocation? What do they call it at the, a benediction?
An exocation.
A benediction instead of an invocation.
You don't have to take the chances and permit them to do the invocation, give them 2 minutes.
Because then they-
When we contact them, do we actually have any kind of guidelines we send, or we just say, hey, you're invited to do the?
Commissioner Williams has accepted the responsibility of lining up the invocators, so she informs me every meeting.
Not just now, I've been doing it
Yeah.
since Brady was here.
Yeah.
We came up with the idea,
Yeah.
initiated it, that Les began to invite ministers to come in, and I came up with the list and gave them to Arlene. I talked with a lot of the ministers first, and then I guess she might have left the list with you all, I don't know. And we called them, and they're happy to come, and that's what's been doing. I made sure there were Catholics, Hispanics, we made sure as many denominations as possible.
Well, Mr. Colbert, is it okay for us to, in consultation with whoever is coming, say, we would like for you to keep this, you know, to some period of time and, you know, a positive.
It's a buzzer on them.
Well, I'm not suggesting we do that, but, you know, say, this is what we're looking for.
And when I call them, I usually
We
will say,
expect you to be
I give them
respectful.
till 6:45, most of them. And please be there by 6:45. And please do not go over anywhere from a minute and a half to 2 minutes. This is what I say to them when we call them.
To answer your question, I don't know that any court has ever said that you cannot give a time frame. There are lots of
And we're
courts.
stating it as a request, not that
There-
we're going to shut you off.
Yeah, there are lots of courts that have said you can't tell people what they can say and what they can't say, but
But they always tell us a minute and a half, 1 to 2.
We're looking
Here's the
forward to a
difference.
positive.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
might imply that, for you to send me something like that would imply that you don't think I'm gonna be positive. Yes, I'm just not. She said positive.
Well, I'll let you call
No.
Dave Williamson here.
Well, you don't, I don't care, I make you care. No.
Poor Velma.
Well, I don't want to take away your tradition.
All I'm saying is the
No,
first
but
person
they
that comes
said
in here to
you.
sacrifice a goat, I'm not going to do it.
But that's okay, because you can't deny it either. You know?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on kind of the same page. This is, I mean, this is the direction of the country.
But I just don't want to allow just one thing to stop what we've done,
We're
what
doing it.
has been done across the country for 50 years.
I agree.
I agree.
I think we all.
And the bottom line is the majority will still be correct. You know, passed through.
Absolutely.
Whatever denomination. Okay.
Well, and it comes down to divvying up accordingly.
Here's the list. Okay.
Mayor,
Get a
for
segment like one every 3 years.
For Cynthia's sake, what is it the commission decided?
I have no idea.
It's
I think I'm gonna call them and tell them to get with Cynthia to get on the list
Okay.
of our invocations for the year 2017. Because we've already, 2016, or 15, we're in 15, so 2016.
What does that mean? We're booked through? Because that will be their first question.
Yeah, they're booked.
Yeah, we're
They
booked.
can easily say we're
Okay.
booked.
If they wanna see my booking list, they can see it.
Have it included.
Go to booking.com.
Invocation booking / Sanford City.
Happy to be inclusive, but we're not changing what we're doing.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
good. Makes sense? Cynthia, I'll talk to you about it later.
Thank you.